Good morning, friends. This is Adebayo Samuel doing live here on our Saturday live broadcast. Um, it's a pleasure being here. I mean, um, every Saturday, or let's just say most Saturdays, we come here and we talk to people, we talk to friends. We try to see how we can contribute our quota to encourage people, to enlighten people, to motivate people to live better. Hello, friends. If you are joining us today, it's a pleasure meeting you, Florence um, Kawisa. I'm not sure if I pronounced that name correctly. Please forgive me if I didn't. But it's a pleasure to see you here this morning. Hello, Tadio. It's a pleasure to meet you this morning. Moses Mukoli, it's a pleasure to meet you this morning. I hope you all are having it great. Teresa Chileshe, it's a pleasure meeting you here today. Great, great. It's a pleasure to meet every one of us. Please, if you are joining us this morning, I will encourage you to remind others that we are live already. And please do them some kind of benevolence, by sharing on your platform or um, your page, so that they can know that you are benefiting from this as well, so that they also can benefit. So that's one of the things I will be talking about today. Great. Yeah. So last week Esther was here and she was talking about orderliness, and it was a topic that is that really really interesting, because without orderliness, the world will be in a big disaster. It will be in a big chaos. Okay, and that is not what you and I want. You and I want to live in a world of peace. You and I want to live in a world of orderliness. We want to see some form of you know order, some form of structure everywhere we go. you know and where there is no order, of course there will be chaos, there will be disaster. All right, so every one of us have an idea of what paradise is. Everything going smoothly, everything looking rosy, everything, you know, streets of gold, perfection to the core, and things like that. But the truth of the matter is, for us to have paradise wherever we find ourselves, whether here on earth, whether in our countries, whether in our cities, wherever, even in our own homes as well, there ought to be order. Order is what put things right. Look at how a building is made. There is a structure, a foundation being laid. The foundation is what holds the building. That is order. All right. The blocks, the building blocks arranged, is made in such a way that it holds people, it keeps people inside. All right. Order helps to protect people. Order helps to preserve people. Order helps to ensure things go in line. All right. Order helps to ensure things run smoothly. Have you ever worked in an industry before? Or at least you must have seen some documentaries about how some industries run. There's a production site. In the production site, you don't see things being thrown all around, but there are sections for everything, where a good is being produced in different parts, where it is being coupled together, where it is being packaged. All those things, there are order for it. There is an order for it. So if we don't um, understand what order is, I think it would be good for us to watch some documentaries on production firms, you know. So because this is how the world works. Without order, the world would be in a big chaos. Great. So my wife is online, Esther, and I'm glad she's here. Great. So today we are going to be talking about something more interesting. The topic is benevolence. Benevolence. Okay. Now, according to the Merriam-Webster's online dictionary, I came to the understanding that benevolence is defined as the disposition to do good, an act of kindness, or a generous gift. So, when you have the consciousness to do good to others, that's benevolence. When you think of showing kindness to other people, all right, that is benevolence. Okay. Benevolence is also the quality of being well-meaning. So, in other words, if you are, um, if you are, if you have the mentality, if you have the disposition, if you have the ability to, or the passion just to do good to others, all right? So, and it is not just a one-time thing, it is a consistent thing. It is part of your general makeup. That's benevolence. That's a character of benevolence. Okay, so as I've said, a quick synonym that you can quickly associate with benevolence is kindness. Being kind is being friendly, it is being considerate, it is being generous. Being kind is being friendly, is being considerate, and being generous. Why is being friendly important? It is important because we are social beings, okay? And as a social being, we are made up of emotions. So when someone, you know, communicates to us or relates to us or acts in such a way that pleases us, you know, there's a good feeling that we have. Feelings of happiness, feelings of comfort, feelings of joy, feelings of acceptability, being acceptable, all right? The feeling that you are wanted, you are needed, you are appreciated, you are valued, all right? So all those feelings that you get, they come from friendly people. They come from friendly relationships. All right, they come from. Let us apart from the fact that some of us may be confident about ourselves, maybe able to go and get whatever it is that we want, but you know, we experience the joy, we experience, we experienced, we feel that we are acceptable, we feel that we are needed, we are wanted, in an environment or within among some people, all right, when especially we are being, we experience friendship. Okay, that's something that we need to really get, and that's why friendship or friendliness is really, really important. Why is it also important to be considerate? To be considerate just gives us the nudge or the notion that someone is human, someone understands the other person, someone is able to bear with the situation that somebody else is facing. Okay, and that is being human. We are not all perfect, we are not all good. The best of the best human beings that you can ever find has some flaws. There is no form of perfection that we can think we can get to, but we will still have some inadequacies, some flaws. So when other people considers those flaws to be human, they are being considerate. All right, so it is really, really important that all of us have it in mind that it is important that we are friendly, it is important that we are considerate. That person that is misbehaving, all right, is misbehaving for a reason. It's better to find out that reason than to crucify that person. All right, that person that is is keeping to him or herself. He's keeping to him or herself because of a particular reason. So when you're around that person, it is best for you to be considerate. Don't feel the person is just moody. Don't feel the person is is likes to you know likes to be on his own or something like that. But the person simply is experiencing some time of his or her own. So it is best for us to let the person be, and gradually the person can come out of it. I'm not saying that there's things that you cannot do that you can do to ensure the person feels better. Of course, you can do a lot of things. That's part of being benevolent. Okay, but sometimes when you let somebody be, you don't talk at a particular time. You just want the person could be just be that could just be the thing the person needs at that particular time. So it is best for the person to just let him be. All right, yeah. So being friendly, being considerate, and also being generous. So when we are generous, it means that we give, right? We give. Okay, we give out of goodwill. We give without any reservation. We give without any hidden agenda. All right, so when we are giving, many times lots of people give for different reasons. All right, but if it is to be real benevolence, then what we are implying is that the gestures that we show is done out of goodwill. The gestures that we show is done without any reservation. You're not doing it because you're trying to win attention. All right, you're doing it because you you want the person that you are doing it to enjoy him or herself. Okay, giving for the purpose of ensuring that others are well cared for. That is benevolence. Giving for the sake of letting others prosper or enjoy life as it should be. That is benevolence. Okay? Now, the idea of self when it comes to benevolence is detached. All right? It is detached, from the act of the kindness we are talking about. Okay? We are not giving not because it makes us feel good, but because we are giving because it increases the value of humanity that we have. We're not giving because it increases our prestige. No. Not because we want to show off. not because you want other people to respect you, not because you want to attract attention, not because you want the receiver to recognize you, not because you want them to be paying homage to you or become your servant, or to have some sense that he or she owes you gratitude. No, no, no. That is not benevolence. If we are giving to win attention, if we are giving for people to respect you, to notice you, that you are such a, if you're a philanthropist, it's not benevolence. It is, it is, it is, you are doing it, for, you know, so for your own ego. And that is not what benevolence is about, totally about. Benevolence is doing it without people, you know, doing it just for the sake of goodwill, you know, in some religious circles, doing it just for the sake of, because you want to please God. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so in other words, um, benevolence is really, really important. It is something that we must all pay attention to, especially if we are building our ourselves, we are developing ourselves. Okay, now when we show benevolence, we are actually saying that we have conquered our ego, that we are laying down our lives for others. Now, before we come to that point, we most of us know what our ego is all about. It's about the self. It's about we trying to prove something. All right. It may be worth proving. It may not be worth proving, but that's not what we're talking about. Okay. What we're talking about is the fact that we are setting aside self, but we are doing it for the sake of goodwill. When we say goodwill, what do we mean? We mean doing something for the sake of prosperity, for the sake of, and of people enjoying themselves. When we say goodwill, we are the sake of referring to a situation where people, you know, enjoy life without anything attached to it. Okay, and being life being prosperous. That's what goodwill means. Okay, so the importance of benevolence in a person's character is vital in his or her development, for it shows that we, or he or she, is human, that he or she has others at heart and is worth considering when there are issues to be solved. Now, when you come close to somebody, in fact, if you don't know anybody, you know, the character of the person will speak for the person, whether the person is there or not. The attitude of the person is like an aroma that can be smelt even from afar. News of the person's character travel far. Okay? News of the person's character travel far. So if you want your people to hear good things about you, uh, and if you also want yourself to be seen as just somebody who is human, if you want to have a clear conscience between God and man, if you want to if you want the prosperity of other people, then you should begin to think of being kind in your approach, in your mannerisms, in your attitude, in your actions. Yes, It is really, really important for us. Now, benevolence is first displayed by our Creator. I'm talking about God. He formed us and gave us everything for us to enjoy: life, oxygen, water, food, and even each other, our company of other people. He shows his kindness to us not because we deserve it, but because he himself is selfless. And he of course is well-meaning. He's good. He extends his kindness to us, even though our ways as human beings, our acts deserves punishment. You and I know how we can be so cruel towards each other. You and I know how we can be so negative. So think of any bad word that we as human beings we can exhibit. People can be jealous, people can be angry, people can do all sorts of crimes or evils against other people for several reasons. There could be acceptable reasons, there could be legal reasons, but the fact that they are doing something bad itself, from the eyes of the one who created us all, is you know we deserve being punished. All right, but through his kindness, we we are still alive. He even made a provision for human race, to be rescued from punishment, from eternal punishment, and that is through salvation. Okay, and because of this shows us, that he is an example for us. He wants us, to take after him in being kind, in being generous, in benevolence. Okay, he demands that we see his own example and we follow it. He wants us to be kind with one another, be patient with one another. We should be seeking the good of other people. We should place others above ourselves. We should encourage one another. We should look out for our neighbor's good. We should give others a chance. We should preach equality. We should not segregate. We should not discriminate. But we should win people over with love, you know. So it is important that we are kind. It's a pleasure seeing us all here as we are live. Lots of people are joining us. Eldad Nyanja, Wayne E. Johnson. Let me see other people who are also with us. Ambassador Samuel Wenge. Um, Mr. Tumusime, it's a pleasure to see you here. Wilma Mia, thank you also for joining us. It's a pleasure. I see that my wife has been making some comments. I would like to read them. Okay. Okay, she says that the value we are discussing today is benevolence. Benevolence is having the disposition to do good for others or carry out acts of kindness. Benevolence makes people feel wanted and understood, valued. Benevolence increases the value of humanity. Brilliant. Thank you very much. Brother Paul is here as well. It's a pleasure seeing you here. Last week was Brother Paul is a film producer, and last week we were with him, and it was a pleasure. We are doing some work together. We were also visiting Ibadan. Okay, and it was a good time that we spent with him, and also his ministry He has a school also, and his ministry called Said Me. And they were doing the 21st anniversary, and it was really, really a time to remember. Um, I think many of us should go to Facebook. We can see most of the details there. Great, great. Richard Muhozi, Mary. Wow, wow. Mary is watching. It's lovely. How are you? How are you? How is your new place? It's a pleasure to see you here. Baku, Teresa, Chileshe, Moses Mukoli, Tadio, Brenge, Florence Kawisa. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you everybody for joining us here. Pretty Osaibo, thank you for joining us. Yeah, so we have been talking about benevolence, and it is something that is really, really important. It is not just for talk's sake, you know, it is for us to build our character. It is a value that we must imbibe, and we should be ingrained in our character. Benevolence is what makes the world habitable. It's what makes the world habitable. Now, what are the examples of benevolence that we can learn from? What are the examples of benevolence that we can learn from? I would like to take a popular story, okay, that many of us know of, whether we are religious or we are not. We must have heard about the story of the parable of the Good Samaritan, right? It is a parable, a story. A parable is an earthly story that has an heavenly meaning, okay? Now, the story basically tells us of how a traveler was on his way to a destination, and then he was, he was he met robbers on the way. He was robbed, was badly beaten with sores and bruises all over, and at the end of his treatment, they just pushed him and they left him by the roadside. Okay, so of course, by the roadside, people will be walking around and they'll be seeing lots of things. And many people saw him. Okay, and amongst the people that saw him, there were three particular figures that saw him. A priest happened to be going down the same road, and when he saw the man, he passed by the other side. He looked away. That meaning that the priest did not see anything that he could do to this particular man, this particular traveler. Okay? Now, of course, you know who a priest is, right? Yeah, so I don't want to go into details. A Levite was also passing by. Okay? And then, of course, he saw him and he did the same thing. Okay? They did not say anything important in doing something, in rescuing the person. Okay? But there came an ordinary man. This man was not particularly religious, but he was traveling by the same road. And when he saw this man, the Bible tells us that he took pity on him. He went to him, he bandaged his wounds, poured oil and wine, and he saddled him on his own donkey. He brought him to an inn, and the innkeeper to take care of him. He paid the hospital fees for this person. And he said I'm going on a journey. I'm in a haste. Please take care of this man. On my way back, whatever extra expense that is needed, I will pay. Just ensure that he's well. Now, this is the story of the Good Samaritan. Now, let us try to understand the story. It's a short story, but full of meaning, even till this present day. This story is for all seasons. It will always be for all seasons. The reason is because there are many of us who have claimed to be religious. Religious in the sense of religiosity. Whether we are Muslims, whether we are Christians, whether we are Buddhist, whatever kind of religion that we have taken up. Okay? Now, we think we are being religious, but actually we are not. Okay? We are not. The reason why I said we are not is because there's something vital in us that is lacking. When we say we are religiosity, embraces humanity. Religiosity embraces humanity. So if humanity is missing in our religiosity, there is a big problem. There is a big problem. Many of us are not particularly religious. We are self-centered. We are all concerned about ourselves, how to please our own, how to please our family, how to, take everything that is just for ourselves alone. We don't care about many other people. How many of us, for example, somebody has called us, the person is in their need. Maybe our phone rang and the person says that, oh, I am in trouble. Please, can you come and rescue me? How many of us would leave our beds, leave the comfort of our homes, and go out to rescue anybody, for that matter? Sometimes even our own blood, our own brothers and sisters, we don't care really. We don't care really. So I don't think that we are religious. So there's something lacking in our character that we must correct, that we must, try and make an adjustment. The Levite represents those people around us who I think, or who I call bookish people. What do I mean? The Levite represents those people who know too much because they read too much, they see too much, they hear too much of news, events, happenings all around the world. They are only interested in what is happening, but do not commit themselves to doing something about what they have heard, seen, or read. They can empathize, but they are not moved to do something. Rather, they begin to do some mental work. What do I mean? They have scrutinizing questions. They have seen the man lying by the roadside, but what do? They ask question, who is that man? What is he doing here? Where is he coming from? Only God knows what he did for him to have been beaten badly. He may be a thief, and he has was caught in the act of stealing or robbing, and then he was really be beaten badly. Maybe he's drunk. Maybe he has been drinking all night. maybe he fell to the gutter after drinking, and so what will you do? You just let him be. Okay, maybe he's a beggar. All right. So you see, all sorts of thoughts, all sorts of opinions in our minds as a result of too much information that is not needed. What is needed at that point in time is a man that is desperately in need of our help. That is something that many of us do. That is the state of our minds. Okay? I'm speaking in general. Okay? Because this is most of the thing that we see, that we hear. But we don't do something about it. Okay? You don't do something about it. And I think there's something that we must understand. It is not until we have millions before we can do something. Where there is a will, there is a way. Where there is a will, there is a way. There are desperate times when people need help. Even though they don't come to us directly, we don't venture to help them. We do not go out of our way to help others, and we give different excuses for this. We should not allow excuses to hold us down. Shouldn't allow excuses to hold us down. Now, at times, some of these excuses that we give may be genuine. For example, we may claim to be busy, or we don't see how relevant the person is to us. We may say that, well, that at other times we have shown kindness, and those who received it, they turn back at us. They did not appreciate what we did for them. And so why should we be kind to even strangers? You understand? There are many other excuses, probably because such occurrences took place, and then we make it a rule of the thumb, not to help others, or to even give something to them. For example, in some public places, or some marketplaces, we have heard of stories where a peddler with large wares asked a passerby for help, and as the person came to help the other one to lift up the wares, it was seen that the peddler, the wares, and the passerby who came to help, they vanished. Now, there's a warning that is being given that when people ask for help, don't help. That's demonic. That is devilish. That is inhuman. Because we cannot use a one-case scenario to judge all other consequent ones. And that is something that we should pay attention to. I'm not saying that we should not be cautious. We should be. But while we are human, let's be human. Let's be considerate. Let's be friendly. We don't know how much that we are doing through our being generous. So there are other stories like about beggars, or those who ask for alms, that they are enriching themselves. Several places I've been to, and they say, why are you giving to these people that are asking for help? They are doing business, they are making money, they are building houses over begging. Well, some of them may be doing that. Some of them may not be doing that. But there are several other excuses, like these people don't need to be helped. They are able-bodied human beings. Because they are of age or they are old, doesn't mean that they cannot do something useful with themselves or with their lives. All right. Some of them can go into petty trading. Some of them can do all sorts. Okay, you know. Others may have some deformity. All right, but some excuses by other people will be like, even that they are blind, it doesn't mean that they are deaf, or they cannot do anything with they cannot walk. That they are blind does not mean that they cannot be useful for themselves. They can go to school, they can learn something, they can learn a trade, they can be active, they can learn one or two things. We have seen blind people who play music. I've seen blind people who are into different kinds of things. So why, because they are blind, should they be begging? Now, while these are valid excuses, the question is, for example, the people who vanished. We heard this information. Did we see it with our own eyes? And of course, maybe if you did, why should we generalize such occurrences? Why should we say because it happened to A, it will happen to the whole world? So why should we put a ban on being kind to others? As for the case of the deformed people who are begging, while it is good to let the deformed people know that they can still be useful for themselves, and society should, and the society, why should you hold back the good that you can do for them? By withdrawing the good does not guarantee that they will change or become useful overnight, suddenly. While it is a good strategy to withdraw giving to them, for example, the homeless people in so many countries, all right, while it is a good strategy to withdraw from them, withdraw giving to them, why don't you create a better strategy of removing them from the streets and creating a reform home for them? Is it not, is that not a better way to do it? At some point or the other, we manifest acts of kindness. But you see, that is not what we are talking about. Benevolence should be ingrained as a value in our minds. So when people see us, they when they see us or think about us, they should be able to associate us with kindness, as seen in our attitude, in our character, you know, in our character, in our attitude, or even from how we talk, from our words. We should be considerate in all our dealings, having at the back of our mind that everything is not perfect, and we shouldn't expect it to be perfect. Those of us, for example, who canvass for perfection should soft pedal. We should instead aim for excellence. We want things to be perfect, right? Yes. But we should understand that things cannot always be perfect. Okay? Rather, we should aim for excellence. We should try to make it excellent. And of course, that is a process. That is a vision. Okay? So, when we are dealing with people, we must always be considerate. Think of it this way. What if you were the one in that situation? How would you feel? In the situation where you are in need. I for one, for example, I have been in several situations where I was in need. I know how it feels to be in need. So when I see somebody else who is in need, I remember those times when I am in need. I was in need, sorry. And of course, what do? I give. The other day, we're traveling to Oshobo. All right, my wife and I were in the public transport, and as the public transport was calling for passengers and was loading, there came this woman. If I look at her according to her age, maybe she'll be about approaching 60. All right, but she was frail in body. Okay, she was begging for alms. When I saw her, I felt pity. I took pity, and I just tried. I gave her something. There was an older man who was sitting beside me. See, you are giving her money. You shouldn't give them this. Give them money. These people are making money. They are doing business. They are doing this. That. I looked at the man. I looked at the other woman. See, I just told the man, let her be. Do you know her story? Do you know what has happened to her? Do you know how she's feeling? At times when in life we are going through a problem, we cannot think of a solution because we are emotional. The solutions may not even come. Some people don't have anyone. They don't have friends. They don't have family. Their family are dead or they left them. Some people may be in a strange land. They don't have anybody. Maybe they were immigrants. They are looking for help. You don't know the story of people, so don't be judgmental. Don't be like the bookish people, the Levite. Don't think you know too much. When there is help that is needed to be given, just give it. Don't think twice. Just do it for the sake of goodwill. And forget it. Don't expect rewards. Don't expect kindness to be shown back to you by the same person or even by other people. All right? Just know that what you have done, you did it for goodwill, and you continue with your life. Your own rewards will happen to you naturally. I remember when we were young, lots of people will come to my parents, people that they don't know at all, and my parents will house them. They will feed them. They will help them. And what they usually tell us is, we don't know where you will be in the future. We are doing this so that who knows, in the future, God can, because of us, because of the little things that we have done, take pity on you too when you are far away. And those are things that I am reminded about sometimes. And I think that we all should be kind to others. We should be considerate to others, especially strangers. It is very, very important that we show goodness, we show kindness. We are being generous, we are being considerate with other people. So the Good Samaritan is a beautiful picture of the person who is kind. It is not important whether the person is a classy person, whether the person is a big person or is an unknown person, whether the person is poor or whether he's rich, whether the person has some money or he's wealthy, whether the person is. What is important is the person has a heart coming to the rescue of people who are in need. You may be busy genuinely, as in genuinely busy, but seeing something or someone in need, you should stop and show kindness. You should stop and show kindness. Kindness may not be that very big thing as you think it is. It starts by recognizing people. A common good morning to somebody who you meet at the bus station, or at the train station, or on the way to your office, can make somebody's day beautiful. Just good morning to somebody else can feel better, can make the person feel better. You can help an old man or woman or even children to cross the street. I'm not old, but when I was sick, I know how it was. It was difficult to walk. Think of me in that situation trying to cross the road. It will be very, very difficult. So seeing old people should move you to help them to cross the street. That's kindness. You can help a woman with a big baggage to move their baggage into the car, into the train, into the public transport. But of course, before you do that, try to ask for help, or else they'll think that you want to steal it from them. Okay? You can tell when someone is sad while at the bus station. Why don't you try to say some kind words to the person? Those words may not solve the problem, but you can help the person, you can lift the burden from the person a bit. Someone cannot come to an event because he or she doesn't have nice clothes. And you say, oh, what a poor person. Why don't you give he or she some of your nice clothes that you have and part away with it? That's kindness. That's kindness. That's kindness. Kindness. When somebody is lost and is asking for direction, don't always be in a haste and ignore the person. Take a few minutes to direct the person who is lost, even though you are rushing somewhere. I know a friend that I have a friend in Nigeria. I met the friend in a situation like this. The person came from far and was going to somewhere where was close to where I was studying. The person met me on the road and asked me for directions. I knew the place, but I was running for extramural classes. So okay, I'll take you there. I took the person there and I went to my extramural class. The person took my number and since then we became friends. You never can know what can follow the good that you do or the kindness that you show. So, children, for example, they may not appear as if they are in need, but you can give them some surprises as an act of kindness. By, for example, sending them a post. For them to receive a post, it means that they are valued. They'll feel, who could send them a post? Who do they know that sent them a post? They'll be very, very happy. All right, that can lift their moods. That can encourage them to look forward to something greater in life. Are you a driver? When you pass the toll, you can pay the toll for the second driver behind you. It's kindness. When you do it, zoom off. Don't wait to receive a thank you. There are lots of things that we can do. You can pick up groceries for an older person who can't always go to the market or to the shop to buy stuff. You can go to help them in their homes, help them make meals, help them wash clothes. It's kindness. These are this is what makes us benevolent. This is what brings out uniqueness in our character. You can give your homeless people, clothes. You can give them a sleeping bag, even if you can't do anything to help their situation. Don't forget to say I love you to the person that you really love. Okay? It is kindness. You work in an office. Try to remember your colleagues. If you are a boss, make tea or coffee for your assistants. Your assistants. It's kindness. Out of the blue, you can send flowers to friends, especially old ones. It will make their day. They will feel so good, feel so, they'll feel acceptable, they'll feel, needed. They'll feel happy. Hello, Sister Chinwe. It's a pleasure seeing you. Okay, all right, we've got your message. Thank you very much. When you are in a crowded bus or train, offer your seat to an elderly, disabled, or to a pregnant person. It is sick to see people nowadays, especially in some cities. They are sitting down, they are enjoying the ride. Meanwhile, there's a pregnant woman beside them. They don't care. It is sorry. Some people put their bags on the next seat, and you want to sit down and they look at you as if you are a criminal. That is inhuman. That is inhuman. It is very, very sad. There are lots of things that we can do to encourage people, to help people. And it is not a little kindness here and there can do a lot of things for us all. So, well, we don't have any excuse really not to be kind. We don't have any excuse. Kindness should be in our character. It shows that we are well cultured. All right, friends. I thank you all for joining us today. It's a pleasure seeing you all here. I think my wife wrote some things. I'd like to read it before I sign off. Saying some kind words to sad people, sad person, giving direction to someone who seems to have lost their way, helping a woman with a heavy luggage, do some cleaning or gardening for an elderly person, saying I love you to your spouse frequently. Those are, it's of benevolence, it's kindness. Thank you, my sweetheart. Hello, Dennis Aguma. Thank you for watching. Dennis Okania. Thank you for watching. Hi, Lisa. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. Lubega Haruna, James Katz, Wycliffe. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. I hope that we enjoyed or we learned something interesting from this edition. The topic is benevolence, and I'd like us to increase or to improve, ourselves by adding to our values. Let us be kind. Let us be considerate. Let us be friendly. Let us not go about with as if the world has come to an end. Let's try to help other people. And while we help them, let us not wait for to get back something in return. It is kindness. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for learning with us. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. Next week, same time, we'll be here again, talking about another character that we can develop. Thank you very much. Bye for now.